What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a video where I just kind of talk about the NFC North. The NFC North has a lot of potential to be the best division in the entire NFL, and here is why. When you think about the NFC North, you may think of many things, such as the seemingly cursed Lions, the recently worst record in the league with the Bears, the team who is young and inexperienced with the Packers, or the team that currently has Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback, but they all look dangerous for next year. Let's start out with the Detroit Lions. The Lions are coming off an outstanding season containing their first conference championship game since 1992, breakouts from Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs, and overall their best team in recent memory. They looked like a top team in the entire NFC, and maybe even the whole NFL. With that, they just bolstered their already top-tier O-line by re-signing players like Graham Glasgow and signing guard Kevin Zeitler along with some others. With that, you will also still have players like Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow and All-Pro Penei Sewell. Although their O-line got better, their secondary lost cornerback CJ Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles via trade and cornerback Cam Sutton due to legal issues. To replace these studs, they signed cornerback Amik Robinson and traded for cornerback Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers. To help compensate for this, they helped their D-line by getting D-tackle DJ Reader and Marcus Davenport to help the young Aiden Hutchinson. But looking at the offense, you see an absolutely disgusting unit. You have a top 5 quarterback in the conference in Jared Goff, Pro Bowl running back Jahmyr Gibbs coming into his second year, All-Pro receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Pro Bowl tight end Sam Laporta going into his second year as well. They are an offensive team with a solid defense that will definitely threaten even the best offenses in the league, and they are truly contenders for the Super Bowl. Then you also have the Minnesota Vikings. This is probably the sketchiest team in the division. After trading star quarterback Kirk Cousins to the Falcons, people were talking about this team being at the bottom of the leaderboards for this upcoming year. Then they did it. They pulled the trigger and signed quarterback Sam Darnold. In all seriousness, people were genuinely concerned about who was going to lead their talented offense. Then they actually did something big. They traded away star linebacker Danielle Hunter, who broke out that year, for the 23rd pick in the draft. Although nothing has happened yet, there is heavy speculation that they will trade both those picks for a top pick in the draft to get one of the many top-tier quarterbacks, since this draft class is very deep for quarterbacks. Other than that, the offense looks fantastic. Their biggest hole from last season was running back, where they had a backfield consisting of Alexander Mattison, who was released after the season concluded, and Cam Akers. They replaced this horrid combo with former rival Aaron Jones, who is a little older, but proved last season that he still has lots in the tank. He also just seems really happy to be there, even sporting a Viking sombrero. Statistically, Jones was one of the major pieces of his former offense who performed way better with rather than without him. When you look at the targets for whoever the quarterback is, you see nothing but stars. You have Justin Jefferson, who is a top 2 receiver in the league, and many consider the one. I consider him the one over Tyreek. And a top 5 wide receiver 2 in Jordan Addison, who is extremely young, and TJ Hawkinson, who's one of the best and most consistent tight ends in the entire league. Whoever the quarterback who gets drafted there will have an absolutely outstanding offense and have tons of opportunities to produce. Although a great offense, their already rough defense took a hit when they lost Danielle Hunter in the trade with the Texans. They also lost Jordan Hicks, Marcus Davenport, and DJ Wanham. They did replace them with Jihad Ward, Jonah Williams, Shaq Griffin, and Andrew Van Ginkel. They'll be an interesting team to watch next year with their super high ceiling and very low floor. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers, a team who everybody doubted last year after they lost future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, who took a lot of receivers with him. Their offense was young and had next to zero expectations. Their defense, on the other hand, was looking really good with stars such as cornerback Jair Alexander, linebacker Quay Walker, and defensive end Rashawn Gary. Jordan Love, Rodgers' former backup, performed at an insane level, being in some people's top 10 lists. Aaron Jones did his work per usual. The receivers turned out to be better than expected, and the defense kept their pace, giving the Packers a playoff spot where they became the first ever 7-seed team to beat a 2-seed in the playoffs, where they demolished the Dallas Cowboys. They then made their fate, sadly, in the divisional round to the 49ers, who would be the NFC champions and go on to lose the Super Bowl. In the offseason, they made 2 big moves, boiling down to 1 major at each side of the ball. On the offense, they replaced the aging Aaron Jones, who suffered injuries during the season, with the newly made Josh Jacobs, who 2 years ago had over 2,000 scrimmage yards with a bad offensive line. Pairing with their good O-line, he will be destructive. This also saved them some money. On defense, they lost linebacker Devondre Campbell due to age and cost, and got safety Xavier McKinney from the Giants. McKinney, who is still young, helped run the defense-reliant team and will surely help their secondary. Other than that, they didn't make many moves, but they are a young team who will just get better and better with time, and kept a lot of their studs. Finally, we have the newly made Chicago Bears. 2 years ago, this team was a mess, finishing last in the league, and now they may have one of the best offensive potentials. Coming off of a 3-4 and 7-10 season, the Bears had the number 1 pick for the 2nd time in a row. They had a big choice to make: draft generational quarterback Caleb Williams, help their current quarterback and draft Marvin Harrison Jr., or trade the pick for draft capital and an asset to help them win. Then, they traded away Justin Fields to the Steelers and traded for Keenan Allen, solidifying that they were going to draft Williams. I actually had a whole video made for what I thought they would do with the pick, and then the morning after I recorded it, they traded Justin Fields, so it kind of nullified the whole thing, and it also had some good Packers stuff in there that I wrote. Anyway, let's just go ahead and compare their offense only 2 years ago, to what they have today. Their quarterback went from a young Justin Fields to likely rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, who looks generational. Their running back went from David Montgomery, who's in a split backfield, to 1,000-yard rusher DeAndre Swift. Their wide receiver 1 went from Darnell Mooney, who is now the 2 in Atlanta, to DJ Moore, who helped Fields progress last year. Their wide receiver 2 went from Equidemius St. Brown, who isn't even on a team now, to a 1,000-yard wide receiver 1 last year, Keenan Allen. Their tight end went from Cole Kmet, who is now their backup, to Gerald Everett, who was a teammate of Keenan Allen last year and produced nicely. There are differences at literally every position. Along with the offense, their defense looks menacing, with the new addition of safety Kevin Byard to stand by safety Jaquan Brisker and help fortify with lockdown corner Jalen Johnson, linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, and defensive end Montez Sweat. Every team in this division has a chance to win, and I think that with a weak NFC this year, multiple of them could make it to the playoffs. What do you think? And tell me who you think had the best offseason out of the division. Tell me what you want me to do in the comments, and tell me if I should do more with different teams. Without further ado, goodbye.